She's in love with herself. Greywolf Studios.
Hello everyone, this is Greywolf. I'm back with a quick tutorial. Most everybody probably knows how to do this already, but you know, there's always new people starting in the hobby that don't always know these things. And since I was getting ready to do it, I figured I might as well turn the cam on and you know, get some footage of my own doing this in case it helps somebody somewhere down the line. So the first thing you'll notice is I do have a small piece of 2x4 right here with 12 holes drilled in it, and I have them marked. You know, the first set of holes is for 3.5-inch bullet connectors, male. The second set is 3.5-inch female bullet connectors, 4mm female bullet connectors, 4mm male connectors. And basically the principle of this is just to give you something to take your, in this case it's going to be a 4mm bullet connector and a male bullet connector, and it just gives you something that you can push it down in there, and it sets down in there and holds it, but keeps it just high enough to where you can, you know, put the iron on it and you know, put heat on it without having to hold it. So this is always a good idea to have a block like this for any kind of bullet connectors, or you can even make slots in it to do other various connectors. I used to have a metal one that was smaller than this. It was something I'd bought, and it had slots on the side to hold like Dean's connectors and all kinds of things. And unfortunately, I lost that somewhere along the line. I think when I moved, I think it was like the last time I moved or something, I lost that. But at any rate, we're gonna put a couple of these bullet connectors in here. And the first thing we're going to want to do is obviously strip our wires here and tin them. And you want to cut basically just enough off to fit down inside the bullet connector without leaving too much wire exposed above it. And we're just going to twist the wire around there to kind of keep it together. Usually when I'm pre-tinning wires, I usually just get a pair of vice grips. I usually just kind of hold the wire with the vice grips and tilt it up like this. And just waiting for my iron to heat up. It shouldn't take but a second. And using a Track Power TK950, which is basically a rebadged I can't think of the one that took the place of, at the moment the name is escaping me. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, so you'll have to forgive me if I'm not completely with it. So, looks like our iron's hot here. So the first thing you're going to want to do is take your iron and you're going to pre-tin it with just a little bit of solder. And then you just hold it on the back side of the wire. And I usually start on the side and just get a little bit of solder flowing between the wire and and the gun, and then at some point the solder should just flow right into the wire like that. And then do the same thing on the other side. If you happen to get a little too much on there, just give it a little tap and knock it off. You don't want a big clump on the end of it. You want basically just enough to cover the wires. So that's how you pre-tin a wire. Now what we're going to do is actually pre-tin the bullet connectors themselves. And what you're going to want to do here, again, just pre-tin your iron with just a little bit of solder. Usually there's a hole in the side of these bullet connectors, and I like to put my iron, kind of the corner of my wedge iron, into that hole, and then just shouldn't take very long. Your solder should just start melting right into it. I usually fill it up about 2/3 of the way. You're going to want to leave some room for expansion because we are going to be stuffing a wire in there after all. So we'll just fill this one up about 2/3 of the way. And since we already got this one hot, we'll go ahead and just dump that wire in here. Just hold it till it sets up, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Once that one sets up, you can take it out. This one I actually have too much wire exposed, so I'm actually going to unsolder this. And I'm going to cut some of this wire off here, off the tip of this. Tip of this other one, because I got them a little too long there. And just go back in here and put a little more solder back in this cup. So I lost some of it when I pulled the wire out. And let's try this again. You do want to make sure that the solder on the wire melts along with the solder in the cup or in the bullet connector. And then I'm actually just going to go back behind here and fill this in with a little more solder. Apparently I didn't tin pre-tin that wire very good because it soaked up a lot of solder when I stuck it in there, so wanted to make sure there's a good connection there. And now we'll just do the other side here. This one's not quite 2/3 full, so I'm just going to put a little more in here. stick the other side of the wire in here. Let that cool for just a second. Now we have our bullet connectors on here. Now we need some heat shrink tubing, which I should have some in here. Let's see, 6mm. I'll do pretty well for this. Some 6mm heat shrink tubing here. Just gonna cut off a couple pieces. Just slide that heat shrink tubing over this. Just take a lighter or pretty much any heat source you have, a hair dryer will work, or whatever. Just shrink that tubing down around our connection here. And there you have it. Now I have my connector made for my LiPo charger. Now just gotta go make some other connectors for it. So until next time, peace.